the luck of the Irish is a real thing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, 59 for 6 in the first 10 overs. We all thought that, okay, maybe before the rain potentially comes in, India are probably winning it. But Barry McCarthy had other ideas along with Curtis Camphor. 51, 2 sixes in the last 2 balls. One was a no ball and that was dispatched. And the sixes that Barry McCarthy had, they were massive. Could have cleared any ground.
I mean, they got 80 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. At one point, they look like they're not even be getting 100 runs. I think it exposes an age-old problem which Indian bowlers have had. Getting rid of the tail.
Yeah, so 139 for 7. Thanks to that 57-run partnership with the 7th wicket between Curtis Camphor and Barry McCarthy. It's a story of 2 halves. First 10 overs, India were on cloud 90. Exactly. I mean, everything was working for them. Cloud 90. But then, as Shane pointed out, the luck of the Irish. I mean, 139 for 7 in the next 10 overs. I mean, let's focus on 3 things. Jasprit Bumrah, Prasidh Krishna, Arshdeep Singh. Combined, let's go down a bit, Shivam. I just want to look at, okay. Combined, Prasidh, Arshdeep and Jasprit Bumrah, total number of runs 91 in 12 overs. For the loss of, I mean, they took 5 wickets in total. Very middling. But in the case of Prasidh, an age-old problem. In the case of Arshdeep, a reverse problem. In the case of Bumrah, a 50-50 situation. Okay. So, Bumrah started off like as if he never left. 2 wickets in the first over. Pace. Incredible bowling. And he was generating, his pace was around 135 kmph. Cranked it up to a certain, say, 141. That was it. But then towards the end, bowled some slot balls and was dispatched. Could have ended with better figures had he not conceded those sixes. So, but 2 for 24.
Even then, 2 for 24, 4 overs, playing first match in 11 months, I'll take that. Where I was less impressed was Prasidh. Because again, he started off well.
Same after 11 months.
Yeah, after 11 months, but again, I'm saying comparatively. Again, with Prasidh, he started off well, but his taper off was far worse. Because he was looking, what is Prasidh Krishna's strength? Hit the deck, bowl those hard lengths, make it hard to play with the bounce. Afterwards, he was just all over the place.
Yep. And it exposes that same problem, like what Rajasthan Royals fans would agree with me, that in IPL 2022, who had the worst economy in the death overs?
Prasidh Krishna.
Second worst. Who was the first? Mohammad Siraj. Siraj had an economy rate of 14 at that time. 22 I'm talking.
Yeah, 23 he was much improved in the depth.
He didn't play in 23, Prasidh Krishna.
No, Prasidh, I'm talking about Siraj.
Yeah. I mean, also to give a little credit to Ireland as well, we have seen them, in the matches that they have played in qualifiers, whatever, they do, tend to pull out these miracles.
I mean, they can, but then see, they have the depth. That is the best part about it.
Which we do not.
Yeah, we have 7.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're playing with 4 number 11s potentially. So Bumrah varied his length. Okay, he varied his length, varied his pace up towards the fag end. You see, this was a very unlike Bumrah performance because I think he's still not backing himself to nail the pacey Yorker. You saw he was bowling cutters, slow cutters, which was gripping on the wicket. And the batters just had no clue. They were deceived by the change of pace. This is something that Jasprit Bumrah is unveiling in his new armory. Maybe with more matches, he'll unveil that deadly Yorker that he's known for. No visible change in his run-up, no visible change in his action.
Exactly.
So, yes, the same hustle is there. And, the same shoulder and back. I mean, you look at it, that first delivery that he got rid of, I mean, it nipped off the deck, but also because Andrew Balbirnie also got an inside edge. So, you couldn't do anything about that ball. But the second wicket that he got of Lorcan Tucker, pacey at the body, 140 clicks, that was Bumrah.
But since we talked about his Bumrah's action, you think after such a serious injury, after a stress fracture in the vertebrae, if I'm not wrong.
Lower back,
lower back. it was a lumbar stress fracture. So
Yeah.
you'd think he would change his action a little bit, but that's not happened. But also I get because it would have changed his rhythm completely.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, let's look at all the bowlers who've had stress fractures. I mean, you look at
Bishop.
James Pattinson.
Yeah.
Pattinson didn't change his action much. I'm not talking about the 90s. That was a different regime altogether. Look at Shane Bond.
Yeah.
Did he change his bowling action much?
Barely.
Not really.
See, the ones who did change it, someone like, again, to use a very recent example, Jofra Archer.
Jofra,
He had
exactly.
multiple elbow issues,
That's why
so
he's
had
got a
to.
side on.
Yeah, so now he's coming a little more side on. Previously, he was straight and would generate from the
Yeah.
elbow, but now with the multiple surgeries, he's just not the same bowler.
He's no longer
He isn't the same.
He's no longer Jofra
And
Archer.
Bumrah, let us remember, like, he was training for World Cup simulation. He wasn't training for this series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
He had a World Cup this thing in mind, and that is why he went full tilt.
Yeah.
He unveiled his arsenal when we looked at it in the form of variations. Not so much the Yorker, but yeah, he had straight at the stumps, the slower ball, back of the length, bouncer. The Yorker was used predominantly very sporadically. 1-2 balls he might have bowled Yorker. But I think it's early days. Maybe the Yorker will take time because it's a very pacey effort ball. that
It is
he
an
bowled.
effort ball, no two ways about
I
it.
mean, after almost a year
11
out
months.
of cricket, and then coming back and delivering this performance, I'll take it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think
You
yes,
can't expect
5.1 I would rate it for the simple reason that yes, you rate him slightly better because he's coming back from a stress fracture, but this is not his first stress fracture. He's come back from injuries and has delivered much better,
But those
barring the
weren't-
first one.
Those weren't long layoffs.
Not this lengthy.
4-5 months.
Yeah, but 11 months
11
versus 4-5
months
months.
is
Oh, I don't
completely
know.
different.
But he himself admitted in the PC, like it was kind of an indirect admission that in his first injury he rushed back.
Yeah,
He
clearly,
wasn't
last
respecting
year,
his body.
last year he definitely rushed back.
Pretty.
I think
you know,
he didn't have that
obvious.
option. The team management told him to come back.
Yeah.
And the consequences happened, and he played 2 games. Although in that 2 games that he bowled, 6 overs for 72 runs and 1 wicket, he did have patches of this brilliance. I agree, he had this patches of brilliance, but then I think against a better opponent he would be found wanting. Which is why I've kept the 5.1 thing, because this was Ireland who struggled against his variations. A better team like England
Might not necessarily
might
struggle that much.
necessarily not be swayed by this. So yeah, Bumrah 5.1, good hostile first over. It was explosive over, something which got us all excited. But yeah, the remaining 3, let's reserve our judgment on that. But massive problems for Prasidh, that has not gone away when it comes to the length, especially in the death. You saw 6s have been carved over deep extra cover, which meant that he was too full. And lack of variations also. Either he missed his length predominantly, that ensured that his variations became nullified. Prasidh was a major problem in the Rajasthan Royals setup because of that.
Yeah.
Couldn't entrust him with the death overs.
At all, because his bowling, as I said, is predominantly, you would actually entrust him to be predominantly a middle overs bowler, something like an Umran. Umran obviously is not hit the deck, but he's express. Same with this guy. He's not express, but consistently 140s, consistently looking to get those bouncers, the hard lengths. In the depth, that doesn't tend to work because you're either going to lose your lengths.
Yep.
You either have to know how to nail a Yorker to be a good death bowler, and he doesn't at this
He
point.
doesn't. But now, Tilak is opening.
What?
Oh, he's padded up and he's getting
Or
ready to
maybe he
bat.
might come.
Or maybe it is a DLS method. They think that rain is in the air. I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I think so too.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
interesting.
So, if I have to look at it, the major problem,
Is that Sanju who's padded up? No, that's Yashasvi. Sorry.
Yashasvi, if I have to look at the major issue, Arshdeep.
Arshdeep has been unfortunately an issue for a long time now. His death overs bowling has absolutely, in literal sense, taken a beating.
I mean, when you look at the T20 World Cup, and I honestly, I still think so. But at the time, I was convinced that Arshdeep Singh is the bowler for India in the future. He is the X factor that we were all looking for so long, and especially in the death overs, because at that point, that's what we were lacking.
Exactly.
Jasprit was gone.
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah was gone. But apart from that as well, when we had Jasprit Bumrah, there was no one else on the other end, kind of, soaking in the same, putting the same pressure on the opposition.
True.
But when Arshdeep came in the squad, took that leadership, when Jasprit Bumrah was gone in the World Cup, that was such a high pressure situation, and he did so well. I don't know where it went wrong. Was it the Indian management, kind of rushing him into the middle overs or
Not even middle. I would say the middle wasn't the problem. It's that they predominantly entrusted him with being a power play bowler.
Yeah.
Because he was a left armer. Obviously, you wanted that angle, early swing. And to be fair, he was doing a good job there. But, again, even for Punjab Kings, I don't recall him consistently bowling in the power plays. Because when he made his debut for them,
he was a death bowler.
yeah, he used to bowl 1 or 2 in the middle overs and 1 or 2 in the death given. Power play, maybe 1 over here or there, but otherwise I remember they used to entrust Shami to predominantly bowl in the power plays when Shami was still playing for them. So no.
Yeah, so it's Yashasvi and Rituraj.
Of course, it had to be.
There,
Yeah, I thought
no, but I'll give Arshdeep some slack, okay? You remember that prior to the T20 World Cup of 2022, there was a certain number that we are all wary of, the
19th over, yeah.
The bowler prior to Arshdeep would concede too many runs in the 19th over. Arshdeep had to defend 7. He almost did it against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. But 1 in a million chances you're defending 7.
Yeah, it's tough. But I think since then, back then I was still cutting him some slack. Now it's become a bit of a consistent problem that in the death he tends to kind of lose his length. Even, today you saw, we were talking about, the last ball, he needs a 6. Barry McCarthy, can he get that 6? I'm like, nah, 1 ball, I think he'll be okay. Well, it's a big beamer.
Big beamer.
Big
And
beamer.
also,
I'm like, oh God.
the 1-6 that he hit was short and slow. Then the other ball was full and wide, and just Barry McCarthy ensuring that he deposited in the stand. And those were big hits.
Very big hits.
And it can clear any ground if I may look at it. So India will need 140 to win, but as we speak, it is getting darker with every passing hour. And see, the rain threat is supposed to come at around at this time, 9:30 onwards. The rain threat is
5 or 6.
Yeah, which is
Local
9:30.
time. Yeah.
5 local time there, which is 9:30. So there is a chance of a rain threat, but at this point, if you get 5 overs in, then India might very well be over the TLS par score at that point.
Let's see.
But then what is the DLS,
I mean, looking at the way how Ireland started,
the net run rate needed?
Looking at the way how Ireland started, I think it would be less because they lost too many wickets at the very beginning. So 5 overs, maybe at around 30 or 40.
You'd be so okay.
You'd be, but boy, George Dockrell, 10 plus years in the Ireland team. He is the only veteran that's there at this point. So, okay, well, one question, SD Roy 84 AGT saying, Mukesh is currently better slog overs bowler than Arshdeep. Or slog overs bowling is a concern in World Cup. Bumrah's Yorker accuracy is gone since 2018, except versus England in 2019. Maybe.
Almost a dropped catch, almost.
Maybe.
Yeah, a tough drop catch.
Yeah.
But still. But you were saying?
Akash Bhardwaj saying, what I feel is Prasidh is a new ball bowler and we should give Arsh depth as natural talent.
Look, Prasidh is not even a new ball bowler because again he's more of a middle overs, hit the hard lengths. I never recall him anywhere, whether it be for KKR, RR, wherever, him bowling in the with the new ball. No.
But Akash, Arsh is bowling in the death. See
and
what
he's
is
getting
happening.
hit. Yeah, I think what they need to do is then move away from bowling him in the power plays at all.
At all, yeah.
Yeah, bowl him in the middle, 1 or 2 overs, and then keep 2 or 3 of his overs in the death.
Yep. So,
Yashasvi Jaiswal's off to a flyer.
Hope Sanju and Rinku get to bed, else openers will chase fully. I think I agree with him.
Yeah.
I think so too.
It will happen. And Yashasvi started off with a bang. I mean,
2 4.
I think
1-4.
Oh, 1-4, yeah.
I think Tilak Verma and Yashasvi might end it in the game.
But Tilak is not even batting right now. Ritu, I think it'll be a 10-wicket win.
I think 1 down, I think someone will lose a wicket.
You think so?
It might
Okay, let's see.
come down to
I mean, anyway, this Ireland bowling lineup, I mean, they can cause some troubles, but I think
So far,
this Indian batting has the talent to ensure that.
That one climbed a bit.
Yeah, that climbed.
That hurt.
And he's got an action kind of like Jackson Bird, only a quicker Jackson Bird.
Yeah.
Mark Adair. So, yeah, 81 miles per hour. That's quite pacey and hard length.
Hard length, it climbed nicely.
Inside edge.
Anyway, we'll take your leave for now.
Yep.
This is unfortunately a shorter
So, what
live.
you're thinking? It's India winning?
Yeah, see, I mean, truth be told, unless there's a massive collapse, India would still consider themselves favourites.
By the way. The wind
India would consider themselves favourites, I think.
Yep. What do you think?
India.
Yeah. But how many wickets?
1.
1 wicket?
What?
They'll win by 1 wicket?
No, I thought you mean
how many will they lose?
Fall.
1, I think there's a possibility if things go, you might just see a 10 wicket. You know why? Because the rain might just turn.
The rain, yeah. So maybe, hopefully, we'll get 5 overs done by that time.
Wow. Yashasvi.
Second quickest, you mean? Quickest.
Oh, interesting.
Who?
Market
Market if he
the
takes
guy
3
who-
wickets,
For Ireland.
yeah, he becomes the second quickest to get to 100 wickets.
Oh, that's interesting. Of course, you have to remember Ireland do play a lot of their T20 cricket against.
The other associated.
No disrespect.
Afghanistan, they play against them. They don't play against the top nations that much.
Yeah,
Although
England
they do
aside.
beat England in the World Cups. That's another thing altogether.
That's another different matter altogether.
So, okay, Yashasvi Jaiswal, let's see this ball and then we'll sign off. And
Oh, that was-
good ball, good comeback.
Every time we say that, something.
Two good shots from Yashasvi.
But good start for India, and I think if they can continue this momentum, then if 5 overs are done, match is theirs.
Match is theirs, yeah. So I also think India are winning this despite the bowling setback. So let's see.
We are very close to 200. 200K.
We are very close to 200K. Yes, 200K family members.
The 2 lakh figure coming up.
Yep. And we will, once we get there, it'll be really a proud moment for
This
us.
time, no cake cutting.
No cake cutting. Yes, absolutely.
Why?
I'll tell you, eh?
Once bitten, twice shy. Okay, bye-bye from me, Gargi and Shane. Let's come back in 1.5 hours, hopefully for an India win.
Maybe quicker.
Yeah.